What's up, yo? It's a new day, and today we're gonna be doing a little car check. Shout out to Davis. Throw the comment up here for the video idea. Good video idea, because I haven't done this yet. So let's get into it. So we'll just start from the front, head to the back. So this is the S52. Literally everything on this thing is pretty much new besides the actual pistons, crank, rods, all that stuff, which is obviously important. So we can't really make any more than 500 on this, or else we will most likely blow it up. So we've got a new head gasket. It's got a cut ring head gasket that allows you to make much power without blowing out head gaskets. We've got 80-pound injectors in here. It's on the TRM tune. I'm not sure if I would recommend them, but you know, do your own research, I suppose. It's got a CX Racing intercooler kit. Basically everything hooks right up. It worked super well. We've got our EFR 7670 turbo. This thing is perfect. Holy shit, I just drove it. That is fucking hot as fuck. But it's actually a little bit small for this setup, so it makes boost super early. It's like literally feels NA. It's super peppy. We had the exhaust done by a local guy, and it came out super well. We've done all the fancy little maintenance upgrades. We've got a new water pump. We've got the oil pan, or the actual oil pump nut, wired in, because it's a thing where you rev it out super high and it'll just fly off and then grenade your engine. So we've got that wired onto the actual like gear itself, so it can't come loose. We've got just a generic eBay radiator. It's actually a little bit ratchet because the petcock like blew out at the track, so you've got that JB welded in, so I might want to get a new one of those. But this turbo is super badass. So it's internal wastegate. All the technology on this thing is super good to make it spool super quick. Fortunately, a little rusty because I left it outside during Haboob season. So like I said, these engines do not like to hold much more than 500 real horsepower stock. It's more torque dependent, and so the setup should make actually more torque than it will horsepower. So we definitely want to stay limited here. I want to push it towards about 450 foot-pounds or like rear wheel horsepower, so like 500 crank horsepower. It's currently making about 350 horsepower on just six or 7 pounds of boost, and we just got a manual boost controller, so we can turn it up now. We just got to dial in some stuff. I've got a weird misfire at idle right now, and the AFRs are a little bit high on boost, so we want to get that fixed obviously before we start pushing things. But as far as engine wise goes, that's pretty much it. We've got baffles in the oil pan. We've got new coil packs. I was chasing down a misfire at high RPMs, got that solved. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. If you're an E36 guy and you need to make a filter on the turbo, since most kits put the turbo so close, you can't run a filter here. So I actually got like a square, let me show you. But I cut it up, and then you just get a 3-inch coupler, and it's just like a little turbo screen. Obviously, you can get like a turbo guard, but it's like 50 or 75 bucks for a little freaking guard. But you can just get one of these filters from like AutoZone, just cut it up. Also, one last thing, obviously you won't be able to see it very well, but there is a cast manifold down there, and that is made by the Kangaroos team, super legit. The only problems I had with it was the holes on where the bolts go is just a tiny bit small, so it makes it hard to put on, but it's just big enough. And yeah, all the machining is done super well, and since it's cast, it's not gonna break like a cheap eBay like welded one will. So it should last forever, and it's shipped super fast because it's from Australia, hence Kangaroos team. But it came here before like half my other stuff did. I ordered everything at once, and it came faster from Australia than it did from other parts in the USA, so I don't know how that happened, but shout out to them. And for the suspension stuff, we've got some fancy Fortunato 510s in there. Super sick. I got them used off a guy off Facebook Marketplace, and so far they feel super good, and they are super adjustable. We've got some raised gram lights. These wheels are freaking awesome. They're like the best wheels you can get for the price. We've got big giant spacer so we don't hit stuff when we're at full lock. Brakes are all stock. There's our coilovers in there, and then we just have modded knuckles that are chopped up. And we have E46 arms. Not sure if you're able to see that in there. Then we got a big giant sway bar I believe this is ST suspension. Pretty much the biggest sway bar you can get without doing the Hotchkiss one, and they were out of stock for like 8 months, I think, because of COVID. So I was just like, I'll just buy something else. As far as the front end goes, that's pretty much it. In terms of upgrades that I want to do, I do want to get a whole angle kit. I think I'm going to do the Just Engineering one because I'm not a huge fan of SLR. Do your own research, I suppose. But yeah, because of the E36 arms aren't made for the chassis, it does something weird to the caster, and you can just feel it. The car has no caster, and it feels pretty weird, to be honest. We've got some fancy over fenders. These actually came with the car when I got them. When I bought the car, it basically had those weird eBay knuckle adapters. Not hating, they're actually sick, and I'm pretty sure every angle kit uses them. You just have to get legit ones that aren't made out of aluminum because the knuckle is made out of steel and the steel just wears through the aluminum, so you're gonna end up with weird shaky wheel problems, which isn't a huge deal if it only sees the track. But yeah, came with M3 front bumper, M3 rear bumper. I got these side skirts myself. We've got the click tuning over fenders front and rear. They look super cool. In the front we've got Federal RSRs, 200 treadwear, 255, 35, 18. These are 18s all around. Got some cool curb rash here from when I was at Adams Motorsports Park in California, and my tire literally debeated on track in front of the whole crowd, and you just hear my wheel just skid across the ground. Obviously, we've tapped the wall a little bit here, or not wall, tire wall. Rear bumper is always falling off. I need to fix that. Stock rear tail lights. It actually came with cooler ones, but I took them off for a minute and then I dropped them on the ground, so they are broken. We've got the dash. It's cut out a bit to actually fit around the cage. We've got a 6-point cage, so this is FD legal as far as I'm aware. We have not competed in any FD competition, so I'm not 100% sure. Got this steering wheel. Also, this is an Njuku Kits roll cage, welded up by Donnie Jr. If you're in Arizona, definitely hit him up. You can probably find him on Facebook or something. And he absolutely killed this, especially for the price. Like, absolutely slayed it. And what else do we have? We got this Sparko seat. This seat is super badass. It's super old, but it actually came with the car when I got it. Fully carbon. I swear to God, it weighs like 2 pounds. Like, literally nothing. Super badass seat. I've got an ASD handbrake. I believe I got a whole kit off of Drift HQ. They hooked me up with the shipping, got it here super fast because I was trying to rush to an event. We've got a pre-made bracket that it hooks up to and makes it super easy to install. That way you don't have to weld anything. Got some sort of short shifter that came with the car when I got it. And for data logging, we have the Zytronics ZT2, I believe. And that's super nice. It's a little glitchy in terms of the software, but gets the job done. It's not super expensive. That just records our boost levels, AFR levels, all that good stuff. And it comes with this fancy gauge here. And the cool thing is, it's not on, so I can't show you, but you can actually click to change like what you're looking at. So it'll go from AFR to boost to all that good stuff. Also, we do have a dual caliper setup in the back. This is the Seems Legit garage setup, and it is actually very legit. It does in fact seem legit. Yeah, it hooked up super easy. We also have a little spacer here in the back. Other than that, brakes are stock. I believe our spring rates are 10K front and 12K rear. I actually want to go a little bit softer in the rear. Basically everything in the rear suspension wise is stock. We have adjustable lower control arms, but they're like eBay ones. The trailing arms have fancy bushings and fancy brackets. You can get the brackets. They are Drift Tech on Drift HQ, and they are super sick. Allows you to adjust tow, because when you lower an E36, basically it will tow your car out, which if you're drifting, you want tow in, so it's like the opposite of what you want, and that allows you to just have way more adjustment than stock. I think that is pretty much everything. The car is on E85, which is just great for overall everything, pretty much. If you have E85 near you, just put your car in E85, because there's no reason not to, unless maybe it's a daily and you have to drive long distances, because it's basically like 110 octane fuel, which just makes your life easier in terms of tuning. For the fuel system, we do have a Deechworks 400 pump. I was having problems with the fuel system, so we made sure everything is super legit. I have like 10 gauge wires straight from the battery and a whole relay setup going to it. So just to make sure we don't have any problems with that, it's getting 12 volts with no freaking resistance whatsoever, hopefully. So that's pretty legit. I can't remember the brand of the fuel pressure regulator. Oh, Aeromotive. We just try to make everything as legit as possible when it comes to that side of things. And yeah, TRM tuning. Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, stock fuel lines should be good. I've read online. Obviously, I don't know myself because I'm not running that much power yet, but people say they're good for like 700 horsepower. That seems to be true as of so far. So yeah, if you guys like that, hopefully you enjoyed a little car check, and catch you guys next time.